Peace fam, P.A. Finley, ThePAFway coming at you live. Once again, I'm kind of juiced up. In any event, let's get into this thing because we got some hardcore stuff out the way. We got the negative sexual experiences out the way. We got the taking of life thing out the way. And I'm going to touch real quick on the taking of life thing because I want to make sure that you guys understand where I'm coming from and how. Okay. How the mind works is if you believe it, it is. That's the reason why belief is so important. And I definitely encourage you guys to watch my video on the power of belief. Sending out an atomic mushroom cloud explosion of love all across the globe. When do we not need that, right? Okay? That's how powerful these brain cells are. If we believe it, it is for us. And that's just, and then you get a lot of that going on with a lot of people. That's what's going on. It affects the reality of almost everything else around us. So, to our loved ones, our melanated beings, men and women who had the stamp of approval by the government to kill, who had the stamp of approval by the streets to kill, whatever because as far as you're concerned, even when you have the stamp of approval of the government to kill, you deeply inside somewhere, you gotta feel like, I mean, obviously you covered up with a lot of jargon and hoorah and all of that kind of stuff to cover that stuff up, but deep, you're like, but you look at it like I had to do it, and you excuse it real quickly just to move on. But them things turn into demons, them things turn into monsters, Godzillas, dragons, all of that. But remember, see, this is the science that I want to drop to you guys who have taken a life, which, again, I've already dropped the science, there's no such thing. But since you believe it, it is. Think about this. If the source, God, all-powerful, that thing that always was and always will be, and that thing, we got different names for it, depending on which part of the planet you're looking from. If you think about it, if it's all-powerful, that thing, right? All-powerful, whatever that, y'all know that, fill in the blank. All-powerful, and then that piece of that thing is in you, then you possess, you by default, you have to possess microcosms of that power, that creative power. So if you believe enough, it becomes reality, at the minimum for you. Who are you? Do you know who you are? Who are you? Do you know who you be? Who are you? Do you know the one you don't call? Who are you? Do you know the one you call me? Who are you? Do you know the soul inside you? Who are you? Do you know the spirit within? Who are you? Do you know where you're gonna go? Who are you? Do you know where you've been? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Who are you? Do you know who you be? Who are you? Do you know the one you don't call? Who are you? Do you know the one you call me? Depending on how much you believe it, depending on how deeply you're tuned into it, it affects others around you. If they're of weaker spirits and weaker minds at that particular time of space, it will affect them and they will follow what you're talking about. They will blend into your reality. That's what happens all over the globe. You see it on the streets, you see it everywhere. It's everywhere. This is what, depending on that individual, Tupac was a great example.
that dude had some powerful, his belief system was very, very powerful, very, very attractive. Power is attractive. So, especially the release of power. So, if you believe it, it is. But I'm about to tap into some of your belief a little bit. See if I can reach out and move some stuff around up and down. Because the grand reality is you ain't killed nothing. See, when I was a Christian, I used to tell people, God says I'm rich. The world says I'm poor. Who do I believe? God says I'm worthy. The world says I'm unworthy. Who do I believe? Who do I follow really? And so the source is life itself. You see, if you kill, remember, all is one, one is all. It's all connected. So if you kill one thing, you kill the whole thing. Do you really think you killed the whole thing? So this is a way out. The guilt factor, the horror, the madness, the burden. You ain't killed. So you're going through something you don't have to go through. You're going through something you literally are making yourself go through because of how you was raised to believe that you could kill something. Now, what does that mean? Do we run around and start slaughtering everything around us? No, because again, the mind. See, just by you thinking that way, you begin to create that reality. Just by thinking that you can do that, you're in the illusion part of that. And when you're in the illusion part of that, there's rules and regulations for that. But the way out is to tap into complete self-science, complete the series. Go through the end and come out free. This is, because all of that stuff is stuff that you don't need. It's not you. It doesn't, it's like you're in an amusement park. I'm going to use that analogy again. You're in an amusement park, but you're stuck there. You live in an amusement park. Come on out. It's not real. And so, if we believe, think about this. Let's see, again, the power of belief. You have the power to direct your belief as you see fit, which means you have the power to direct your power as you see fit. No, who's going to say you wrong? Who has this authority? Hey man, you're wrong to believe that. Really? No. No one. Because you know why most people don't be saying your belief is wrong? Even though they'll hint at it and they'll throw little popcorns, in that direction. But nobody will say, hey man, what you believe is wrong. Nobody will say those words. Because that taps and knocks on and throws rocks at the glass house of freedom of belief. See, we want that glass house to stay where it is. Every last one of us. Nobody wants to touch that house. Nobody wants to throw rocks at that one. Because then, it becomes open season for everybody to say everybody's wrong. So you notice how each religion is not saying the other religion is wrong. They're saying I'm right, and they push a hard line on that rightness. But they don't say this religion is wrong, that religion is wrong, this is why, and that's why. And they can do it. They can bring up a whole list of reasons why. Listen, man, let me tell you why we right over here and everybody else wrong. Let me tell you, this, that, and the other, and the other, that, and this. Everybody can do that, but nobody's doing it. That's because the power, no, there's two reasons. First of all, the power of belief is universally respected. You take away individual power of belief, now you got some problems, some real serious issues. If you have never seen a people uprise like a people being denied their right to believe. That's like, you might as well take my life, because they're kind of like one and the same to the individual. The second reason is because they're all in cahoots. So moving right along to those individuals who, listen, the demons, the bad dreams, the nightmares, all of that can be erased if you complete this process. If you put that stuff on the paperwork and you work through this process, all that, you will, I'm telling you, I don't want to put no promises out there, because people halfway do some stuff and won't follow the process completely and then point the finger and say, see, you're wrong. So I'm not even going to play that game. But I can say, if you follow this process thoroughly, with rigorous honesty, and leave nothing out. And when I say leave nothing out, this is what I'm not saying. Say, for instance, it's 35. First of all, I suggest nobody should do this process until they're 21. You gotta create some experience first. And believe me, when in your youth and your youthfulness and you're young and you're growing and you're evolving, you have thick skin to deal with this stuff. So it's not gonna drive you crazy, you ain't gonna lose your mind. But when you're 21, you're ready to go back and clean the stuff up. So I just thought I'd throw that sidebar. But which has thrown me off a little bit, because now I can't remember what I was talking about. But anyway, moving right along, I'm just going to say that for those of us who think we've committed the unforgivable sin, because a lot of it's connected to Christianity. I mean, there's a lot sprinkled in there, but that was since the 60s, you know what I'm saying? The 50s and 60s, that's just kind of like recently, less than a century. Christianity's been with us since 400, 500, 600 years. It's just, since the beginning, since they brought that with them, and they had one the Bible, one handgun, and the other one that came over there across the goddamn sea. So, I mean, it's a part of the plan, man. Twofold, dude, you can't even, it's like, we didn't know what to do. So, for those of you who think whatever that sin is for you, the ultimate no-no, that which cannot be forgiven, which is, okay, so you guys got to understand my point of view on all this, man. It's a lot of this is, okay, so I say this now, but before it was just as much of an issue to me. So I know exactly I remember where I come from. See, I almost, the ego slightly was about to get up in there. I almost said this is silly. Most of this stuff is silly. I almost said that, but I used to, one of the things, I'm going to make a quick sidebar, in-bar kind of like thing, because this is all self-science. So, I used to be, I used to work in the, I used to be a laborer in the union, and I used to train people. And I used to be trained by people, and then take that training and then go train other people. It's just one of them things. Okay, so I noticed that when I was being trained by somebody, And I ended up getting used to this. I ended up almost knowing that this is how people gonna get down with me. But I knew something was wrong. I didn't feel right. They kept saying that this is easy. See, this is easy. Look, this, you do like this, you do like that, you do this. And I'm, I'm starting out my training, so I'm all thumbs. I'm making a mistake. I'm driving stuff. No, man, all you gotta do is simple. And they put 1,000. You know how we do. We put 1,000 on. Man, this is easy. It wasn't until later on that I found out the problem with that whole coming from that area when you're teaching and training somebody. It's that you're forgetting that you didn't come out the womb knowing this stuff. See, most cats act, when they teach you something, or they training you, or they, you're kind of like submissive to them because you got to hear what they say, you got to follow what they talk about. I mean, you pretty much, you're in their hands, your future, because it's job, it's training, it's like, people get drunk off that, first of all. And then when they teaching you, they catching the attitude because you ain't getting it immediately, like you supposed to automatically, as soon as they say it one time, you know exactly what to do, like you've been doing it forever. And that's because they forget where they came from. See, they forget that they was once you. But now that they got some years, and some practice, some experience, they popping willies with this thing now. They ain't got no, the training wheels is off. See? They clowning now, they one-handed with the wheelie, they clown. They full of themselves. And they forgetting the fact that they once started out with training wheels. They took the training wheels off and they fell down a couple times, they got scraped, but they got back up and got back on. See, we forget where we come from when we communicate things to other people. And I see that a lot in the conscious community. Man, it's simple. These guys is ignorant. This is through. They don't know nothing. This is, well, it was the time you didn't know nothing. Come on, we've been there. And that's how we connect with the young people too. We gotta understand, man, we done been where they are. But sometimes we forget about that, man. We become all, whoop, whoop, you got to listen to. No, they don't. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one. This is E. I'm gonna have to get into F. But there's a lot of stuff going on around here, interfering. So please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening to my rhetoric. Leave a comment, and y'all know what time it is. Peace and stay beautiful.
Where you been? Who are you? Who are we? It's an age-old question. To be or not to be? That was the question. To be and not to be. That is now the answer. Musica.